Hello everyone, this is Mary Gregory with MAS Coding Solutions. Oh, have I got something great for you today. Recently I've been thinking a lot about coding and we talk a lot about critical thinking. So today, for you all that don't know me, I want you all to know that I am Mary Gregory. I am a coding subject matter expert. And I am a critical thinking coder. And I want to help you to become a critical thinking coder. And you might be saying, well, Mary, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do it through education. Everything is about education. And we're also going to do it through really building our skill set on the 3 R's I call a critical thinking coders. Okay? So what are these 3 R's? I want to talk to you today about being resilient. Resiliency. So as a coder, you have to learn to be resilient. And I looked up the definition of resilient. It said that means the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Having a tough mindset. If you're going to be a critical thinking coder, then you're going to have some resiliency. You are going to have to learn how to recover quickly and have what we call mental toughness. See, and you might say, well, why do I need resiliency? Well, when you become a coder, some of you all may be just getting in the coding field. Some of you all may be very experienced coders or advanced coders. But we can always learn. And one of the things that as we go through this coding world, this coding life, we have so many audits. Coders are, I used to have a little joke, coders are audited to death and we don't even kill anybody. What we code will not kill a person. Now, it might cost us to get some money we don't deserve or to lose some money. But we don't kill anybody. But we get audited so much. And sometime in those audits, we're going to get some recommendations that we don't agree with. We are going to get recommendations that could be very correct. And we're going to have to bounce back from that. Many years ago, when I was a very young coder and the audit process began to take hold in the coding world, I used to get so upset when I missed something on an audit or when I was in a disagreement with the auditors. And remember, as a coder, we can always respond. And some days it would take me 2 or 3 days to recover from that audit review. Now, not so much. So we have to be resilient, and we have to have mental toughness. You're going to come across some cases that going to require you to have mental toughness. You're going to have mental toughness in dealing with physicians. You're going to have to learn how to deal with physicians. You're going to have good communication skills. And a friend and I was talking the other night, and we said, we hate you all missed all the fun. See, when we used to be in the hospital, doctors could be quite rude sometimes, and they can be rude on email. So you got to be resilient. You also have to be resourceful. And I looked that up. That is the ability to answer a difficult coding situation. You got to be resourceful. You're going to come across some coding you've never done before. You may want to change the patient type or the area you coding in. You may want to go from an inpatient coder to becoming, an interventional radiology coder. Or you might be an outpatient coder, you want to come to inpatient. So now you got to learn a whole new different kind of skill set. Not necessarily learn different coding guidelines. There's a few that's different between in and out. But once again, you got to be resourceful. Being resourceful means you're going to learn how to get your reference material, Being resourceful going to mean you're going to learn the code, learn how to do coding software or a auditing software. And sometimes when you are trained for these new positions, did I say position, excuse me. When they are training you for these positions, sometimes that training is quick and fast. And you have to catch on. But we don't always catch on. So guess what? You have to be resourceful in saying, okay, maybe I don't remember everything. Let me walk back through the process, or let me look at my, everybody like to send you these images, with the arrows, click here, click there, go here, go there. And sometimes you're going to have to be resourceful and look at those images. You're going to look at the documentation that they have sent you. But you cannot always go and ask someone else to do everything for you. And then as a coder, you're going to have to accept responsibility. You're going to have to be responsible for your coding. You are going to have to take responsibility for educating yourself. I'm a firm believer in empowering you. I'm a firm believer in that. So you have to accept that responsibility. If you want to grow, you're going to have to do the things to grow yourself. You cannot wait on your boss. You can't wait on the organization. You are going to have to show that you are a responsible person. If you, let's say your boss may give you, 15 or 20 charts to code. You're going to want to get those charts done. Now, there are days you're not going to meet productivity because of depending on the patient types that you're coding. But ultimately, you are responsible. If you're supposed to sit down at your computer, now you can work in a place where they're very flexible. I used to work for an organization very flexible. They said, Mary, you got to 12 o'clock midnight to get your work done. Well, guess what, people? And I was working a Saturday and a Sunday. Oh my gosh. And there was some Saturday I would go out with my family on family outings, and I would come home and I would be so tired. But you know what? I had to get that work done. That's showing you're responsible. And if you think you cannot meet the deadline that they give you, let people know. But don't just not show up. See, we have to learn to show up well. One of the things that you'll learn as you grow in your coding world, or you may in your coding life, or you may be experiencing this now because you are an expert coder, you are an advanced coder. And what you'll experience is that people will come to you for answers to questions that you may not always know the answer. But for some reason, they feel like when you are a coder, you know everything. And I try not to disappoint. If I don't know it, I tell them, okay, wait a minute, let me look it up, let me research it, and I'm going to find the answer. Or I tell them I can't find the answer. See? So you can, when you're a coder, that's why sometimes when they hire you and they say they want 2 to 3 years experience, that's because they feel like if you got that, they can kind of just throw you in the water and you can sink or swim. That may not be the way we want it, people, but that may be the way it is. So in your coding life, you have to have these 3 R's to be that critical thinker coder. And those 3 R's, remember, it's going to be resiliency, it's going to be resourceful, and it's going to be responsible. That is who you are as a coder. And I want us to wear our coding credential proud. Now, I'm just going to give you a few tips on how you can do this. Okay? Just a few. Could be more. And we're not going to expound on them today. You always have to know your coding guidelines. Keep up with the coding guidelines. Maybe once or twice, at least the first, they get changed every year. Not so much as changed, but they may improve on the coding guidelines or explain the coding guidelines. And they generally going to come out and be available sometime in August or September for the October 1st discharges. You want to read them, okay? You want to keep up with your coding clinics as much as possible. You want to go and you want to look at the CMS transmittals, their MedLearn site. Now, you're not going to look at everything, but once again, put it in the context of the type of coding that you are doing. I have recently started looking at some of the First Coast educational things that they do. And back in June, I actually did a 2-day webinar with First Coast, because they opened it up to everybody, not just people that, First Coast is a MAC for CMS. And they handle Florida, Puerto Rico, and a couple other places, but I especially remember Florida and I remember Puerto Rico. And I signed up for this 2-day webinar, and it was a great webinar. It was all about different things that happens in physician office. Because I want to learn more about that, I took it on myself to do those 2-day seminars. And then they're going to have another one, and you do get CEUs for that. And guess what? They don't charge. So take advantage of your MAC education. Take advantage of the education that the vendors are giving you. And don't always not do education because you don't get a CEU. Your life, your coding career cannot be driven by whether you get a CEU or not. Your coding life, your coding career has to be driven by you wanting to become the critical thinker coder. Okay, and we want to help you to do that, and we can help you to do that by providing wonderful and great education. We provide education on inpatient coding. We provide education on giving your CPC certification, outpatient coding. We do documentation education. And clinical validation. Recently, I was on a panel. And they asked this question: should coders clinically validate a diagnosis before coding? And you know what I said? Absolutely, absolutely, people. And so we'll talk more about how to look at clinical validation. And so I just want to talk to you today because I'm here to help you to become the critical thinker that is on the inside of you. I want you all to follow me on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Instagram. We're doing a lot on Instagram. And of course, we have our website. And I am, seeing like every 5 years, I'm updating my website. So I'm updating my website, and I do hope you all like the new look once we get it done. And also, we have a new LMS that we're using called Thinkific. That's where all our courses are being housed. And remember, any educational course that we offer, such as the CCS certification, the CPC certification, we're doing PCS as well. That's the inpatient code and procedure system. Remember, we provide coaching with that. We just don't put you out there and let you, be out there. You're doing the modules, but we're going to coach you. And we're also looking to develop a group real soon. So this is Mary signing off for today. I look forward to talking to you real soon. And I do hope that you find this very educational on your path to becoming that critical thinker coder.